Okay, so here's a walkthrough with all the lights on and the windows open of my Harry Potter haunted maze in our basement. And you can see we used some hot glue to take these tea lights and glue a piece of monofilament string up to a hook. And the hook is just sitting over the rafters. And I use these hooks for my walls to hold the walls up, as well as these tea lights. And the tea lights are nice because they give a nice sensation of a floating candle. In the dark, it works very well. It looks like a real candle. So I put a bunch of them in this room, hanging, to give the sense of like that room where there's a bunch of floating candles in Hogwarts. And so he had to kind of go around this table, which had a little display of lights on it. And then you went down your first area. Look at that. So I hung these walls up. I used some Velcro. Like I got these big plastic sheets because I was running out of time, and I used industrial Velcro to hang them up, and that worked really well. Although Velcro doesn't stick to this plastic sheeting you can get at Home Depot. And last year I tried to save money by taking boxes and breaking them down and using either tape or hot glue to attach these dollar store sheets. And these are just shower curtains. Sorry, not sheets. Shower curtains from the dollar store. And so they're 6 feet tall by like 72 by 70 inches. And so they don't really stick to the cardboard very well. So you have to use something that will bond the PVC. It's made of like PVC, most plastics are. So I ended up using some old sprinkler glue that I had, and it worked really well. Because last year I used hot glue and it just came apart this year. There's another light. So I saved a lot of money by making my own walls, but the plastic sheeting was the easiest. It's like $13 for 10 feet by 25 feet at Home Depot. And you can cut it into 3 8 feet by 10 feet long strips, and I used 8 feet because I have 8 feet ceilings here. And so like around ducting and stuff, what you can do is that Velcro works really well. See right here? You can take your Velcro and just attach it places. I use the industrial strength Velcro because it seemed like it was a little stronger and it had a wider base. You could cut it to length. They have a big long roll of it at Walmart. And the Velcro's nice because it'll attach to wood, it'll attach to the metal sheeting. If you're in a hurry and you don't want to make walls, because the walls take a while to make. If you're using like boxes like I did, boxes and dollar store shower curtains, it can take a while, but you can like attach with a piece of Velcro in between the sheets here to keep people from going through the middle. And if you want like a long directional movement around a certain pathway, it really is nice to like Velcro between the sheets. Like here's along a wall and 2 sheets meet, and so you Velcro both sides, and then people won't mistakenly go through here. And so you come down around the corner, and I put leaves down so that when people were walking through here, they could hear this crunching sound like they were really in the Forbidden Forest. One of the things I did to hold my walls up was we wanted a party, and so I took these rubber bands and I tied them together so I could stretch them up and hold these big long sheets up into the ceiling. We had some spooky things in our maze here. This is one of the blackout pieces that I used. It fits in the window, and it totally blacks out the lights so that you can actually have it pitch black pretty much down here. And here's this guy. He's activated by light, and this is the actual mechanism, a light shining on him through a long tube, so that when people would walk in front of him, it would turn him on. It would activate him. See how the tube is pointing right at where he's at? And so that's how you get these, you can use these things, these light sensor activated devices to be activated by somebody walking in front of him. I just have my, some duct tape, my headlamp, and the end of the, in the end of it, and it's shining a light. And it was, a white light actually works best. See how he turned on? Because it's pointed right at him. It's too bright in here right now for my breaking the beam. This is a little device that I created that was pretty simple. You put a massager on top of an empty bin from like Walmart, and it could be any kind of massager. This is one of those pulsing massagers. You know, it kind of goes, and so I connected it electrically to a motion sensor from a light source that you use on your outside your buildings for like security lighting. And you can buy the sensors by themselves, and it was like $20 at Home Depot. And so I put a sleeve around it, made of cardboard and duct tape, so that it doesn't have that wide sense. So it won't activate until I actually walk right in front of it. See that? And it goes off for 5 seconds. And now it's not turning on. Well, see, now if I walk in front of it over here, see that? See the red light? The red light's sensing me. If I hold still, it doesn't sense me. So I did it. Every time you activate it, it stays on for 5 seconds. And this is so loud. When it's dark in here and you walk by it, you know, you're like, ah! You know, and it turns on. And so it's kind of nice. You can see this some more Velcro. It's kind of nice because like it doesn't activate until they're halfway in front of it, so they can keep walking. I wanted to put it right there so that they were already past the noisemaker when it went off, so that it would turn off by the time they got down around this hallway, and they wouldn't be scared to keep going. So there's another light. And these, so you can see the light coming through here. You could do this with the light for little kids, lights on, but the bigger kids were kind of bored. So I was going to try to put a light on this guy, because he's also a motion sensor, a light sensor activated guy. But I just didn't make the time to do it. Got some more skulls right here. And these two have lights on them that turn on, that flash. Here's another one of my window blockers. Just cardboard boxes that I broke down and duct taped up. Come around this corner, and then we're almost to the room with the blue light. And so my brother-in-law was in here during our party, and he would actually reach out and grab people because he could see them through the window. So that's a great idea. Here's another one of my window blockers. Now the window's nice and bright. Coming through here. And so people are following the tea lights. So this is something that took a long time, was I stretched out the webbing that you can make your own webs, and it was really neat because it's a nice big arch that comes up over at the top. So you feel like you're walking through a spider web. And it kind of blocks everything right here. See that? So I block off this room with spider webbing because then it keeps people out of my displays. Like there's my ghost. Ghost didn't work out as good as I'd hoped this year because I have too long of a fulcrum. I need a shorter fulcrum. But the blue light, the purple light when it's on, or the black light when it's on her, she looks pretty cool. There's another one of my windows that were blocked out. And I have spiders right here too. You put a whole bunch of spiders in your webbing, and then you look through here and it just looks like you're walking through a big giant web. And so I might do more with this in the future because that was kind of cool. And all I did here was I ran boards along the ground. See that? Just 2 long boards. And then I used my staple gun, and I have electric staple gun, and I would staple a piece of webbing down, and then I would stretch it out up to the top, and I would staple another piece down right like that. Just staple, staple. And it's nice to have unfinished basement for this purpose because you can staple things down and make your webbing look really cool. And then see my big spiders right there. I had the big spider display last year. Pretty cool and spooky. And along the back wall, it says, couldn't see this very well with the camera and the black light, the Chamber of Secrets has been opened. And that's orange, actually phosphoresces in the black light. You can see it really well when you walk through here, and it says beware right there too. So this is my spider room, my ghost. Oh, and there's a petrified baby. She kind of shows up frozen, and then there's a skeleton right there on the floor, like they're all petrified from the snake that's loose from the Chamber of Secrets. So here's my flashing light room. This is an easy room to do. You just need one strobe, one smoke machine, which might be out by now. Let's see if I can activate it. Might be empty because it's been running. Oh, there it goes. So this room would fill up with smoke. I think this smoke machine's out. So I'll turn it off. So, so you walk through the smoke, and because of the smoke, everything is like, you know, it's nice smoky feeling in here. You walk over here, and then I stood right here with my air tank, and all I had was just my air blaster. Just, you know, just one of those little air blaster devices that you can. It's still got some air in it, and I would stand right here, and people walk by, and I'd go blast them with some air. So that was an easy prop, but I had to have a person in here to do it. So you went through there, and there's another tea light, so you could just follow the tea lights, hanging from the floor or from the ceiling. And this is the exit. I had an exit sign here made of that illuminating paint. It has to be charged up, so you kind of have to paint the sign, leave it under light for a couple hours, and then it'll shine for hours and hours in the dark. And so people were having a hard time figuring out, because this is actually supposed to be up. They were trying to figure out how to get out. And so what I did was I said the way to get out is you follow these green glow sticks. There's one right here, and there's one that was hanging right here. So it's like one big loop, and they get out. And so that's my maze. Took me about 40-50 hours to work on. A lot of work. Part of it's planning, part of it's trial and error, and but they're really super fun. Kids had fun. One parent said this year that if I had a couple people in there on Halloween night, I was walking the kids through the neighborhood, so it was just the everything in here operating itself. And they said if I had a couple people in there scaring people, I could charge money for it because it was such a good maze. So it's fun though. And if you have any questions, just email me.